Hey guys, and welcome back to Z3 Cubing. This is the GAN 11M Pro, GAN's new expensive but amazing flagship 3x3. So I just got in this early copy of the GAN 11M Pro. And by the way, this is about the lightest package I have ever received. It does not feel like there could be a Rubik's Cube inside of here. But yeah, GAN has a way of always making everyone super excited about their new 3x3 releases, probably just because they're always so good, and I hope that this one will be no exception. So let's move right along to the cube itself. It looks like it's in this nondescript cardboard box here. Again, that's just because this is an early tester version that thecubicle.com sent over to me. I'll put the link to the actual retail version down in the description. Make sure and use discount code Z3Cubing for 5% off your order. But don't worry, because the actual packaging that you will receive is way more exciting than this. Now, the first thing that I notice is that there's something that looks very different about this puzzle. Now, this is the GAN Air M, the last major high-end 3x3 release from GAN, and probably my favorite cube that they've made. And as you can see, even though they're both stickerless puzzles, they do look very different. And that's because traditionally GAN has used black plastic on the internal pieces, which kind of mimics the black lines in between pieces on a classic stickered cube, and which I think looks really cool. Now, this actually still is an option on the 11M Pro. This is just a new different option, which is primary internals, so the pieces just aren't dyed at all. And other than this new different option, this cube has all the same GAN colors and the same 56mm size that you've known in GAN cubes for years now. Oh, and one more quick difference about these cubes. This one is $45, which is a lot of money, and this one, well, this one is $65. So I guess the main question I want to be answering today is it worth it? Is it worth emptying your bank account to get what GAN calls their best cube ever? I mean, it's made for pros, right? So without further ado, let's do some first turns. Okay. Wow, that's actually really nice. Man, this cube is awesome. Okay. I'm actually already really impressed at how much better this cube feels than even the last one. I thought this was kind of the peak of 3x3, but man, this one's nice. Now, you still have that same light, airy, and incredibly fast feeling that's standard on all GAN cubes, in fact, perhaps even more so. But the thing that really stands out to me on this one is it just feels so smooth. Going back even to GAN's last cube kind of feels clunky now, and definitely a little bit less flexible. This cube in comparison is just so smooth, so fluid. I would almost describe the turning as soft. It's just so comfortable to turn. In fact, it kind of reminds me of my current main, the Weilong WRM 2020, which I would also describe as very smooth and fluid, which again were qualities lacking from GAN's older cubes. But yeah, this one is incredible. So let's talk about why this cube is so good and why it might be worth your money. So the first and, in my opinion, most interesting new innovation is actually in the magnets. So traditionally, cubes have had a total of 48 magnets, 2 in each edge and 3 in each corner, which gives you a nice little snap at the end of every turn, which of course gives you that nice clicky feeling, as well as a little bit more stability. Now, this cube does have those standard 48 magnets. In fact, you can see them right there, as well as right there. And just as a side note, it also has a brand new mechanism for adjusting the strength of those magnets. So all you have to do is move this little dial to one of the side positions. So right now I'm moving it to, I think, the weaker position. There we go. And it actually adjusts the strength on all sides of the corner. So you only have to do this a total of 8 times. So right here on camera in about 15 seconds, I have the cube now adjusted to a lighter magnet strength. So I changed it to setting 1, which is just a little bit weaker. I guess that's better than it being way too weak, like on some adjustable cubes. And then setting 3 will of course be a little bit stronger. I'll probably just leave it on setting 2, but it is worth noting that it is very fast to change that magnet strength. Now again, those 48 magnets aren't anything new. The thing about them is that because they're located up here so far away from the core, because this radius is so big, that means that you only really get a click when you're really, really close to being finished with a turn. Like right here is when you start to feel the magnet and then it clicks into place. So in a standard cube, all the way from here to about here, you cannot feel the magnets at all. It feels like a totally unmagnetized cube until you get that last 10% right next to the magnet when it clicks into place. Now that's actually different on the GAN cube. In fact, when you do this, you can actually feel the magnet pulling you towards that turn. And that's because in addition to those normal 48 magnets, this cube also has another 16 magnets which are located at a smaller radius inside of the cube, so they're closer to the core. And that means pretty much for the entire range of turning, you can feel the magnets. Right here, I can feel it trying to bring me towards that turn. So it gives you this really nice kind of fluid feeling all the way along. It feels like you're getting attracted to that next turn. You can really feel the difference just turning a cube partway. Right here, I don't feel any attraction. Right here, I feel a ton of attraction going towards that turn. Now, how do they do that? Well, let's take it apart and go ahead and see. So we actually have magnets inside of the core. You see that down there? There's actually 8 extra magnets connected directly to the core. That's 1 for each corner piece. And if we take a look at the corner pieces, we have 1 extra magnet on each of those too, which is right on the corner stock. As you can see, it fits right in there and connects right to that magnet. And so the effect of that smaller radius being really close to the core is, as you can see, even at a partial turn like this, those 2 magnets are still really close together. And so you can still feel that attraction even when you're at like a 45-degree angle. and it will snap right into place really smoothly. So with the combination of this brand new gradual attraction, as well as the classic 48 magnets and the hard snap into place, you pretty much get the perfect magnetic feel on this cube, attracting both when you're far away and when you're close to the end of a turn. So that is, in my opinion, the biggest thing that sets this cube apart from others. But there are some other things to note. For one, even though they're no longer calling it the GAN Air, man, this thing is light. Like I mentioned earlier, it did not feel like there was a Rubik's Cube inside of that package. Don't get me wrong, it does feel very solid. It feels very high quality. It feels like a $65 cube. But just holding it in your hands, it's incredible that something this light can have such good performance, and you'll be amazed at how much they managed to actually reduce the weight despite adding so many features as you just saw. So let's get the scale out. This is the cube that I've been comparing it to, the Air M. As you can see, this is 68 grams. Their last major cube was the XS. As you can see right here, is about 69 grams. My main right now is the Weilong WRM 2020. This one is 74 grams. This is one of MoYu's lightest cubes. This cube right here is 63 grams. They added better magnet adjustability. Heck, they just added more magnets in general. The pieces feel just as sturdy as they did before, and it still managed to be the lightest cube that GAN has ever made by a whole 5 grams. That is just crazy. Now, there was one more thing in the package that I wanted to open up. I assume this is related to the cube. So we have a little plastic bag here. We have a ton of bubble wrap, and we have a little plastic thing inside of it. So let's see what this is. We can open it like this. Oh yeah, that's GAN's little tensioning tool. So these little things allow you to change the tensions. And this thing right here allows you to change the elasticity. So if we just open up a center cap here, I assume this works just the way as their previous cubes. So these little blue, dark blue, and light blue pieces each have 2 different tension settings. And so based on the way you spin it, you can make it more or less loose, just like you would normally do with a screwdriver. And you can also just take the light blue one out and replace it with a dark blue one to get 2 more different settings. And then by using this little tool right here, we can just spin this little clear plastic part around that blue part. So as you turn it more and more, it compresses the spring little by little, which adjusts the elasticity, or basically the spring strength, so how much it resists you flexing it like this, which changes the feel of the turning. That's totally standard, but it looks like in here we also have these little tiny magnets. So if we pop one of these out here, I think if we open up one of these corner pieces like we did before, this little magnet inside of here can actually come out. I'm not really sure how you get it out, but oh, here we go. We just have to turn it. So if we pull this magnet out of here, we can replace it with this magnet right in here, which gives you a different strength, not on the outer parts of the magnets, but of course on that inner part that I was talking about earlier. So if you really want, you can replace all 8 of those and see what difference it makes to the cube. Personally though, I'm just gonna stick with the standard ones because they seem just fine. And one more last feature that I can't really demonstrate is there are some other options for this cube. In addition to having the black or primary internals, you also have different coatings on the outside of the cube. So this one is just their standard, what they call frosted plastic, even though it's pretty much just smooth. But they also have a new soft texture finish, which I guess is kind of like that soft touch plastic you get on like certain electronics items. I'm not sure exactly why you'd want that. But then they also have a UV coating, which I think would be more useful, which basically makes it kind of harder and more scratch resistant. Both of those are an extra $5 on top of the $65. So I guess the one last thing we should do is a real quick solve to show off the performance. So I'm just going to start and stop this timer real quick to generate a brand new random scramble. I'm going to do that scramble on the cube and then try and solve it as fast as possible. I make no guarantees because I haven't practiced a whole lot recently, but let's see what we can do. Let's start some inspection. Okay, sure. Let's do that. 3, 2, 1, go. So just doing this solve here, I can pretty much already say that this cube is probably going to become my main. I had honestly forgotten just how good it was from the start of this video, but man, I am impressed. I was honestly expecting just kind of a small incremental upgrade, but this cube really is a big step up. All right, not the world's best solve, but still a 13. Pretty nice. So yeah, in addition to the new color options on this cube, as well as the new magnet adjustment, as well as the internal magnets, which are amazing, becoming lighter, as well as GAN's classic elasticity and tension system, in addition to all of that, this cube just feels better than anything that came before. And so I would definitely recommend it if you're in the market for a new speed cube and you like the feel of GAN cubes. I mean, personally, I stopped using GAN cubes for a while just because I like the feeling of the Weilong WRM 2020 a little bit better. But man, this one is just kind of the perfect combination of both of those cubes. Not only is the performance really good, but it also just feels amazing. I love it. So again, if you're in the market for a new high-end speed cube and you have the money for it, I would say go for the GAN 11M Pro. But if you're on more of a budget, obviously go with something a little bit cheaper, like the MoYu RS3M is a really good option for only $9. But if you have to have the best, then I would definitely say that this is GAN's best puzzle. So if you want to buy it for $65, link in the description at thecubicle.com. Make sure and get it there and use discount code Z3Cubing for 5% off your order or anything else on their store. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for what is probably now my new main. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.